This is such a grungy setup. Oh my god, look how dark it is in the background. And look at the bloody state of me. This isn't how I wanted to start this video. However, I feel like now I kind of have to accept that maybe I'm just a little bit more content than I should be at being like this on camera in front of hundreds of thousands of people that watch my videos. So I just need to just accept that sometimes I'm gonna be absolutely fine with me just looking like this in front of you and filming my videos like this. Hello, Lummy. Oh god, they're following me around and they're grumbling away. Grumble, grumble, they're having an argument. Part of me wants to start every video looking like an absolute glamour puss, but I spend a lot more of my time like this. What I was gonna do was just kind of leave this until tomorrow and start tomorrow, but I physically can't. In fact, I already started when I wasn't supposed to start. So basically, to bring you up to speed on what this video is going to be documenting my dressing room. Now obviously you would have seen me pack down my dressing room and move into this room, which is the spare bedroom, and it looks quite dark at the moment because it's about 7 o'clock, so it is getting quite dark in here. However, my wardrobe has been built. I didn't film the process because I'd paid these people and they're like a professional company, and I don't know, it didn't feel like I should have been filming them, so I didn't do that. I just let them build and do their thing. And then I kind of know the people that do like our painting. Obviously you guys know Ken, and one of Ali's friends is doing our floor, and obviously Matt does our lighting and electrics and stuff. So I can kind of film that stuff, but I didn't really feel comfortable doing it with the company that I use. So yeah, basically where we're at now, the wardrobes are essentially finished. Well, they should have been finished. There were a number of things that maybe didn't go to plan. Like there was a few things that were wrong, and I'll take you through those. The first coat of paint has been put on the Veluxes and also on the walls. There's no pink left in that wardrobe, which is amazing. And basically because all of my clothes and all of my beauty products will be inside of the wardrobes and it's only my bags and shoes that are on show, Ken can just kind of tape that stuff in and paint, and it means I can move in. So they did their first coat of paint today, and I have my floor going down either tomorrow or Tuesday. My new light, which is beautiful, arrives tomorrow, so that can go straight up. Then in 2 weeks time, I believe the company that have built my wardrobes come back and do the things that I'm gonna talk you through when I show you kind of like where we're currently at. So today is move out of this room, which I can't actually express to you how excited I am to do that. So that's what we're going to do together today. I did start moving some of my bags and shoes into the room yesterday because I just wanted to see what it looked like. I was just far too excited, so I kind of wanted to play around with the shelves and the units. I'm not going to ramble on anymore. I think we can go upstairs and have a look, and I can show you where we're at currently, and then hopefully by the end of this video I will be showing you the actual finished room. So fingers crossed that everything goes to plan and that there's no more setbacks. So let's go. So here we are in my new dressing room. Can you bloody believe it? Because I can't. I can't believe that we're actually at this point now. Just so surreal to just kind of come back and see it as it is now. It's unbelievable. So the units have all been painted. They are painted in strong white by Farrow & Ball, and we decided to go for a seamless kind of look and painted the walls in strong white as well from Farrow & Ball. Initially, I was petrified. When I saw the colour, I was kind of like, no, this is way too white. But now that I see it on the walls, it's actually a really, really nice sort of dusky grey. You can see the difference in the ceiling. The ceiling will be white, and that's kind of the colour contrast. But I think when you see it like this, it almost looks white, but it doesn't in person. It's a really nice grey. But where do we begin? So the first initial hurdle was they dropped the wood off, and the wood looked a colour that I hadn't picked. So I asked for a kind of grey toned wood to go for my internals. I showed them alleys and they said, oh, that's this one. And I was like, okay, so I just trusted them, which I think was a bit of a mistake. I wasn't shown samples of the handles or the woods that would be inside. So when it turned up, I was initially like, that's not actually what I wanted. However, I stuck with it because time-wise, there was no way that we could wait and have that changed. And I'm glad that I've gone with it now that I'm seeing, I think it matches the wood tones that run through the house really nicely, if you see there. And quite honestly, I didn't want anything white on the internals. I didn't want it to look too clinical and too stark. I like the depth that the wood gives, and now I am really happy with it, but it would have been nice to have been given an option. That's the way I'm going to see it with that. So as you can see, it's kind of like a mirror of each other, except the cupboard doors on this one, unfortunately, they were damaged. So they have been sent back, and I think they're gonna have to either be resprayed or remade, I don't know. So those will be coming in 2 weeks. Then the worktops were measured wrongly. So these worktops obviously aren't supposed to have this little bit of skirting here. These worktops are supposed to go all the way to the wall seamlessly. Unfortunately, there's big gaps at the back. So these are being redone and recut and will be repainted and fitted in. So that's why these haven't been finished off yet. Same is happening on this side. This has been covered over with a little bit of skirting, but again, this is supposed to go right back to the back of the wall and it doesn't, so that's something that they'll need to do when they come back. And this was always the way that this was going to look at this time. So once they've built all of the wardrobes, they then measure up any of the bespoke pieces and they are then made. So once everything's fitted. So what this is going to be here is my kind of walk-in wardrobe section. There's going to be a static door here that you can't open, and then this will have another door that opens inwards, and you kind of step into what will be a lit, if I turn the lights on. These have internal lights as well, but this also has a light of its own up there. But this is where I'll kind of keep all of my coats, and I'll store any things that maybe don't need to be going on show, like, you know, like Wellington boots and stuff like that. I just wouldn't keep those on the display shelves. So these are all things that can go in here. I'll also, in this area, probably keep my suitcases and things like that so that Ali doesn't have to keep getting them out of the eaves for me. There'll also be plug sockets, and there are plug sockets placed all around the room and also in the island as well. It's the same kind of on this side, although this room isn't symmetrical, so this was how this was going to be laid out as well. I still don't know what I'm going to do with this wardrobe. I feel like it'll be good for keeping beauty stock in it, but then I've got this unit here as well, so just going to see how things fit. But this will also have a sort of custom built door to fit this particular space. So that's what we're waiting on from there. We are also waiting for new, I don't know what they call these, they did mention the name, but we're waiting for new ones of these because these are actually wrong. Something happened when the machine was programmed to make these, and they're actually only supposed to have 3 of the window decorations on them, and the machine has crammed 4 in, and these are supposed to kind of be like a portrait rectangle, and they're obviously not, and it looks a little bit too busy for me. So we all agreed that these can be replaced and these can be changed. This is just a simple thing. These can just like pop out, and I think, I don't know, maybe one day if I wanted to change the design on the mirrors, I could do that, but these will all need to be done as well. So that is something that will come with the worktops and the doors. So yeah, this is like, oh, this as well is obviously my dressing table, which I am so happy with. I'm so glad that I went for a slightly bigger leg space as well to make it more comfortable. And I've got this big, this is obviously not the chair that's going to go here because it's too short, but it's got this really great big drawer that I've bought some bits from HomeSense to store things in. I actually bought 2 of them, but this is just really good for keeping like all of my everyday beauty bits that I need to get to. So I went for a really nice big drawer, which is great. So obviously the Veluxes have now been painted, and I've obviously started moving things in. Oh, okay, this is another design thing that didn't end up working out. So all of these doors were supposed to be this kind of touch open like this one, and so it all looks quite seamless. Oh yeah, those are my lights inside as well. And unfortunately, these two doors were unable to be this kind of touch function, because if you, close that, if you were to touch them, because of the size of this, they obviously wouldn't come out. So they did need handles on. But to be honest, it really didn't make much of a difference because these weren't my main mirrors anyway. I just wanted this to look more like a mirror, if you know what I mean. Please excuse the state of me. Although I'm loving this Gymshark jumper. It is so snuggly, like my little kangaroo pouch. But yeah, so as you can see how this will look in the background, this is kind of what I wanted when I showed you like my outfit of the days. It's like a beautiful sort of decorative thing that's behind me. So my chandelier will be there, and then you'll have the beautiful decorative doors there. Obviously at the moment it's not how it's supposed to look, but it will be very, very soon. But this is what I mean by me having like spaces to put like trinkets and stuff on. Like I kind of want to put like flowers here and candles. There's so much from like Erin homeware. Oh, I don't know if you've seen Erin homeware before, but oh, I've got a little baby spider on me. There we go. My goodness, Erin homeware is absolutely stunning. I got sent a picture frame once with one of their candles, and it's beautiful, and I checked out their stuff online the other day, and wow, I am obsessed. So maybe I will treat myself to some bits from the collection to go in my dressing room, just as like a little bit of a treat. So yeah, there's still actually lots to do in here, but I think it will feel more pulled together and more finished, obviously, when the floor goes down, because at the moment it's just a bit like, what is this? I've gone for an Antico. It's the same floor as Ali's, so I'll show you that quickly. I can't just show you his room because he's obviously revealing his own dressing room himself, but I can show you the floor. That's the same floor that I'm having in here. It's like a parquet herringbone floor, and it's so easy to lay, and it should be down in like a couple of hours. So that'll either be done today or tomorrow. So if I show you that quickly. So this is the floor that I will be going for in my dressing room. So there'll be a border that goes around the wardrobes, and then the border will also go around my center island as well. So it kind of works. It's just really beautiful. I like how it looks as well. It just looks so beautifully finished and such great quality. So when Ali had it put down, I was like, yes, I love it. The only thing that I'm a bit annoyed at myself about is I ended up putting a lot more money into this than I had initially planned. So I was nervous and maybe didn't think something through entirely. So obviously I've got like all of the nice lighting internally, and I nearly didn't even go for that, and I'm really glad that I did, but I didn't go for it on the cupboards and like on the open cabinets, and I kind of wish that I did now. And I said to them I would really like to be able to put those in, can we put them in? And that he basically said that that's not something that we can do once it's fitted, you have to kind of have it. And I kind of felt like they were missing a bit of a trick there. They need to do it so that they can do that, because I think that, you know, that must be something that probably happens quite a lot, that when people actually see it, they think, oh, actually kind of wish I'd done that with the lights as well. Can we just add that in? Because it would be like a good little add-on money maker. But I spoke to my electrician, and it's something that he says that he can do, so I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, we'll kind of like see whether I do actually do it or not. It wasn't like a huge extra cost, but I was just so worried about the cost escalating, and I was worried about like any kind of hidden costs and stuff like that. So now that it's done, I'm like, oh, I kind of wish I'd done that. So we might be adding that in at a later date. So now what it is basically time to get organized again. And I remember how long it took me last time, so I'm kind of hoping it's not going to take me that long this time, but it's going to be so great to have everything in one space. So let's go. Lights down low, still wondering what you're saying. So shoes and bags are all currently in place, and I've actually got a few gaps, which is quite nice. I've got all the way down the back of that one there as well, so that's where I can kind of store some slightly like worn shoes that maybe I don't want on show. I've stored a few down in that one there, but yeah, I got a few gaps, so I'm definitely able to purchase a few more pairs. Whilst I did that, I also started to sort out these drawers at the top. Now these drawers are going to have my kind of accessories in because they're not very deep, but then as we work our way down, there will be other things going in each of these drawers, so like underwear and gym clothes and all of that stuff will all go in these drawers here. So it's now 9 o'clock and shoes and bags are in place, and I've started moving clothes in. So this one has got my tops and currently moving knitwear in there. I'm not sure if these are going to stay in here. I've sorted out these ones down the end, and we have long dresses in this one. And then short dresses in this one, because actually it worked better to have all of my dresses and jumpsuits here, so I can store some like other shoes or something in the bottom there that maybe don't want to go on show. And then in this one at the moment, I've just got a few of my jumpsuits, but there's still some room, so I might move some of these dresses over here because they're quite compact in there, so make it a little bit user friendly. I have managed to get Ali to help with the move-in process now, so he's going to bring up my coats, which should end up going in here or down there. I haven't quite decided yet, probably in there. I think that'll work well. But I've also forgotten about all of the stuff that I stored in the bathroom, because you don't really use this bathroom, so there is all of this stuff stored in here as well that I'm going to have to sort through. So it's quite a lot of stuff. Oh dear. Everyone, and welcome to a very exciting day. So very late last night the men came and fitted my floor. So in my dressing room right now is, well, as close as I'm going to get to being finished until the 26th, where they come to fit the items that were done wrong and also the made to measure items. So you will now see a pretty much finished dressing room. I'm gonna save the actual finished one to do my tour and show you how everything's organized, because how it is at the moment, I've just kind of put everything in there and I've not really organized anything, but I'm gonna do a massive organization of this room so that it works really well, and that is going to be quite a big part of the tour. So I'm saving that. Trying to make it kind of like 2-ish videos. This is kind of like the building my dream wardrobe, and then the other one is like the tour. So yeah, it's been delayed quite a lot, I'm not gonna lie. We had a delay with the lighting going in because initially the light was delivered wrong. What was wrong with it? Oh, it was broken. So Ali was literally holding it up to the ceiling and it just dropped, and it could have dropped onto the center island and I don't know what would have happened because it's a very heavy light. So we had to wait and order another one, and then it arrived again and it was wired wrong. So that was kind of a big issue that we had to sort out. Luckily Ali is an electrician, so he was able to sort that out though. So the light has gone up. To be honest, the easiest part was the marble, and then the floor was probably the biggest delay of all. So it's been 2 weeks, over 2 weeks since the floor was supposed to be fitted. And it's been fitted a day before I go to Ibiza. So I only get to enjoy this room for today, and then I'm off for a week, which is so annoying, but at least I get home and it's there and it's done, and even the windows will be finished then. So I thought, well, let's have a look inside rather than me telling you about it with a white wall behind me. You can see the outside has not been decorated, so Please bear with us here. But dun, dun, dun. Oh, oh, oh. Thank you. So this is pretty much it finished. Now you'll see that these cupboard doors are on and these are not. These will be fitted along with all of the other things that need to be changed in here on the 26th. So that cupboard is kind of out of use at the moment. But if you face this way, it's pretty much as accurate as it's gonna get, bar these three things. So the floor is an Amtico floor, and I went for a border around my center island and also around the entire room. It also follows the skirting of the mirrors at the end because I felt like that was quite a nice little feature down there. I really, really like this floor. I wanted something pale, but I didn't want something grey. I obviously really like grey, but I completely appreciate that it can make a home feel quite cold, and I don't want this to feel that way. So I'm actually really happy with this. It adds a little bit of warmth and a little bit of softness to a room that is quite a bright grey. The walls and the units have been painted in Farrow & Ball strong white, and I was so scared initially because it did look so white, but now you can see at the top there the difference. It's just a really beautiful soft grey, and every time I use one of Farrow & Ball's greys, instantly I'm like, okay, no, this is my favourite grey. Every time it changes, and I just think I'm just going to forever fall in love with their colours. They're beautiful. I did end up going for marble on the centre island, and I'm really happy that I did. I've had it sealed, and I'm going to continue to have it sealed on a yearly basis so that it doesn't soak up any of my makeup. But so far I've been using it for about a week and there's not been any disasters with makeup. However, there is always a however. The day after I had this fitted, I bought myself this 34 candle from Diptyque, and I felt like this was quite fitting for this room. I really like the fragrance. It's really sophisticated. It's not too much. And I wanted to get one of these really big Diptyque candles for a while. Now I do get a little bit discount at Space NK, so it was a little bit easier for me to make the purchase of such an expensive candle. However, this is ceramic, and I just didn't think, and I popped this straight on the marble and I slid it, and the noise literally made me want to throw up. I have unfortunately scratched my marble the second day I've had it. So yeah, I think that it will be able to be buffed out and it's not too bad, but it was definitely a learning curve, and now I've got some little felt bottoms on the candle so that it doesn't scratch anymore. But as you can see, I'm burning it for the very first time in honor of you guys. If any of you like this candle or fancy it in your house, I'll link it down below. It's beautiful and probably one of my favorite fragrances from Diptyque. So this is the chandelier. You would have seen this in my previous vlog. I showed you this had gone up. I didn't think I could find a chandelier as perfect as this for this room. I love it, absolutely love it. And I think that it makes the room feel grand and special, but isn't too over the top. It's still quite sophisticated. So I'm really happy with that. And for a light of this size and actually this uniqueness, it wasn't the worst priced light in the world. I think I got it for just under £300. Unfortunately, it was a shame that it wasn't maybe the best quality, but looks wise, it really does make such a huge impact in this room. So as we come around here, as you know, these are not the decorative mirrors that will be in these doors. They will be fitted on the 28th when this room is completely finished. And I'll just show you in this one, but I did go for the internal lighting in here. So this is my little coat cupboard. Really happy with the lights in here. I definitely knew that I needed to have lights in these wardrobes. I'm just gutted that I didn't get them everywhere else. Now these are the stools that I've gone for, and I got these from Atlantic something or other. I'll link them down below. They were about £100 each. I think that these are probably going to be a temporary chair in this room, just because I think I'm probably going to have special stools made because these are a little bit tight and I can't necessarily open this drawer, which is my makeup drawer of crap. Oh God, when my legs are underneath. So I think these will do for now, but I will probably end up getting some made exactly how I want them, and maybe something a little bit special as well for in here. I'm so happy that I went for the 2-person bar style beauty thing, because it's just going to be so nice being able to get ready with my friends here and just having a more sociable space. I am also thinking about putting like a mini fridge in one of these cupboards, but we'll get to that in a minute. This is my little vanity area, to be honest. I thought that I would have a big mirror on here, but I didn't want to overpower the island. So this one works really well. This is the one that I've had for ages, and it's really easy to use, doesn't get in the way, and it fits with the aesthetic of the room really nicely. And then I've got my little brushes in there, a new lip balm, little sort of facial maintenance products, and Philosopos as well. This is like a fragrance that I wear really quite regularly because it's like really easy to wear. I do find that with a lot of the diptyque fragrances that they're a lot softer. So that's my little vanity setup, and then I have sort of everyday beauty bits in here and just random crap, and then all of my like makeup and stuff is in these drawers, and I'll be organizing these and then going through all of these drawers with you in the final tour of everything. So when I show you inside everywhere and how I've organized it. This is also at the moment my beauty storage cupboard. So there's lots of stuff in here just stored away. Again, that'll be organized properly. One of my favorite things though is these drawers around here. I've got kind of like accessories drawers here, which are really shallow drawers. So I've got my belts in here, all my sunglasses laid out, and I've got the same thing on this side here. These are like my winter accessories. Now this is the sort of main focus of the room. This is like the grand wardrobe area, and this is kind of the only full height wardrobe that I have in here because this is obviously in the eaves. And this is my main mirror. I was so worried about this not being big enough. When they told me the size of it, I was like, I just don't know if this is gonna be big enough. I'm just not sure. But actually, it's perfect. I don't need it any bigger. In fact, I often just do my hair in this one. I put my little stool here, and I've got plug sockets under here, as you can see, so I can plug in my GHDs and just do my hair like that. But in these wardrobes, I have like all my dresses and jumpsuits and anything that kind of is floor length. So that's really quite special to have, because when I had my rails, I didn't really have them full length. So my dresses were always like crumpled on the floor, which was so annoying. Really happy with this, really happy with how like decorative it is and how grand it looks. Like when you get like certain angles, because obviously these wardrobes aren't finished, when you get like an angle like this, it just looks incredible. I love it so much. Now, as you know, this is like the open fronted storage. So this will have cupboard doors on it, but this will all be open fronted. These 3 units and these 3 units here. I didn't pick, unfortunately, this color. It was what was delivered, and obviously that was quite a big thing. And initially I was really worried about it, but I personally, and this is just my personal feeling on this, I really like the contrast of the marble and the grey with the warmer toned wood. I think it makes this room feel warmer, which I really don't want this to feel like a cold and uninviting space in the wintertime, which is what we're moving into now. I'm actually really happy with how it looks at the moment. Would have loved a choice, but I feel like on this occasion, it just kind of worked out. I had initially thought that I wanted either the grey or the dark, like mahogany style wood, or walnut, I think they call it. And I realized that if I went for the walnut interiors, I would have had to go for a very, very dark floor. And I think that would have made this room feel really small. Whereas how it is at the moment makes it feel really nice and spacious, but inviting as well. Now, behind this unit, it's slightly shallower. My radiator is behind there. This hasn't been peeled off yet, and this is where the heat comes out of. The radiator is on at the moment, and I can honestly say that actually this room is really warm. So I'm hoping that that extends into the winter months, because this is one of those rooms that can get quite cold and can get quite warm, but I think that this is going to be fine. I was a little bit worried. I didn't want to be moving radiators, and at the end of the day there really wasn't anywhere that the radiator could go without offsetting the symmetry of the room. So yeah, I'm hoping that I'm not going to be freezing, otherwise I'm going to have to get one of those hot to cold Dyson fans. So this is the sort of main viewing point of the room, and honestly I am just over the moon with how it's come out. The floor looks beautiful. It's the closest I'm gonna get to sort of a Parisian apartment feeling floor, and I'm so, so happy with that. Now you'll see that when you come down to this end and you turn around, you can even see my stuff that I'm packing outside of the door, so I had to take that out of the room because I'm packing at the moment. But as you come to this side of the room, it's obviously a little bit of a different story. These 2 wardrobes are not finished. Now this was always going to be this way. They need to be made once everything is fitted, because they are so dependent on like the dimensions being right. But this wardrobe here, I had the sort of border follow it the whole way around, so it goes inside and across the front of the door here. This is where I'm going to be storing a lot of rubbish, basically. As you can see, I've got my suitcases in there at the moment. Those are sort of all of the different sizes I generally need for trips. And then I've got some bags, some new in products that I haven't really sorted through there. I've got my wedding dress, I've got gowns that are in there, which actually don't fit in the long ones, all my coats and some other bits and bobs. But this will also be fitted out with the decorative doors that you can see here. So when I look in the mirror down here, you'll see all of the decorative doors behind me, so you won't see these big dark corners. This, I've said before, I don't really know what I'm going to do with it. I might use it to like fold t-shirts and softer, more delicate cashmeres and things like that and put them in there, because my beauty storage behind there works really, really well. I have said it before about this room, but it really made me appreciate it when I was in the back bedroom. How glad I am that my room is up here, because none of these windows are able to be like seen into. So they just overlook the trees, they're all like focused on the sky and no one can see in. So I can just fake tan and walk around naked to my heart's content in here. It's great. And now that it's all like coming together and my vision has like been made a reality, Jess's help with this has been unwavering. So a huge shout out to Jess from Studio Blair for helping with all the colours and the floors. She literally sorted this marble and the marble for our dining room herself, and it was the one thing that was like the quickest to get sorted. So thank you, Jess, for sorting that out. As for the company I used, I found them to be really good at making the kind of wardrobe that I would want. The only thing that I found slightly difficult was dealing with them. I kind of, from the outset, it kind of felt like they, I don't know, maybe thought that I couldn't afford to get the wardrobe that I wanted, and that made me feel a bit weird from the offset. Then obviously when they charged me 100% upfront, I don't think that that's a position any customer should be put in, if I'm being perfectly honest, especially following all of the problems that we've had with it. I mean, they're not problems that they're not willing to sort out, obviously, apart from the wood, but it never should have been like that. You as a customer should have a point where you feel comfortable. Like, yes, you paid 50% upfront, but you shouldn't have to pay the second 50% before it's finished. And I think that that is something that I will hope that they will look at in the future, because that made me feel extremely uncomfortable as a customer, and I have no doubt that it has made and will make other people feel uncomfortable as well. But that is kind of the finished look at my dressing room, and oh my god, this has been so hard. I have been wanting this to be finished for so long, and obviously it isn't quite finished, but it will be in no time at all, and then we can go through absolutely everything in this room. But I really wanted you to see how it was looking aesthetically, and how it was, and what we went through, and how easy it was, and how happy we are. But on the whole, I'm just glad that it's all pretty much, well, I can be in here now, and I feel like I've got a really good filming space for doing makeup stuff. I've got a really good filming space for doing like outfits and outfits of the day, for stuff on Instagram stories. That's kind of, you know, why I wanted this to be an easy and workable space. So yeah, I'd love to know what you think in the comments below, and I'd love to know if you found like this kind of format of the video helpful. I feel very, very lucky to have this as my own, and this is something that, as you know, a child, you kind of dream to have something like this. And I know that for some people this is like very normal, and they probably think that it's quite, I don't know, distasteful to talk about these things. But for me, this isn't what I grew up with. I didn't grow up with a dressing room for that matter, and this is all quite exciting for me. So I am hopeful, and I'm quietly confident that this doesn't come off as braggy. This is me wanting more than anything to just be informative and show you about how I found it. And I know that I've had a lot of messages from girls that are thinking about using the same company that I used. So hopefully this is a little bit of a helpful kind of like feedback video, if anything at all. I hope that that kind of is a little bit of a disclaimer, because I feel like this definitely does need it. Sometimes I'm like, this doesn't need a disclaimer. I feel like this one definitely does, and it's really important to me that, you know, this isn't a breeding ground for any negativity. This is a video that I think is quite a nice video to make personally. And, you know, oh my god, I still remember the first time I saw Claire's dressing room. I was so proud, like so proud. I couldn't believe that that was her dressing room. And so for me, It's really nice to be able to call this my own dressing room, and I would hope that the same kind of happiness that I have shown my friends in the past is kind of what I would receive back. But anyway, I will hopefully see you in my next video if you don't hate me now that I've showed you this. I am going to run out the door because I've got lots to do today, but I hope that you enjoyed having a look around my new dressing room. I will see you hopefully in my next video. Bye.